All right. Well, as always, I want to be respectful of everybody's time who got here at 6 o'clock. So thanks for coming again. I am Marcella Marlowe. I'm the city manager here for the city of San Marino. In case you don't know me, I'm delighted to make your acquaintance via Zoom. This is a sea of no faces other than our community engagement. Amanda Fowler, she and I are here for all of these, of course, our monthly town hall meetings. They're on a variety of topics. We're always happy to bring whatever information that you'd like to hear. So if there's a town hall topic that you'd like to hear about, please don't hesitate to reach out to us and let us know. Tonight, I am delighted to introduce our police chief, John Incontro, who I'm sure you all know and love, who is the only other face available to you on this call. So he's in the process of elimination, who's going to do some conversation tonight about crime prevention. At the end of the meeting, if you are so inspired about public safety that you would like to hang out for a little while longer, our Public Safety Commission meeting starts at 7 p.m. and they'd be happy to hear from you as well about your thoughts about public safety. In the meantime, however, again, happy to turn it over to Chief Incontro for his presentation. So thanks everyone for coming.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Marlowe. I appreciate the introduction. And when it came time for the police department to talk about issues that were affecting the city, we're very fortunate crime-wise that things are down quite a bit. Our traffic collisions are down. Things are pretty safe around here. However, the one area that we are having problems with, and it is a regional problem, a state problem, are simple thefts. And they're classified in 3 different areas. We officially call them larcenies. But the primary issue is a larceny or thefts. And those 3 areas are thefts from a vehicle, package thefts when you get something delivered to you, and they are placed on the front your front steps or by your front door. And then finally, theft of gardening equipment from our gardeners, the hardworking folks that make our houses look so nice. We can move to the next page. Okay. This is our stats so far. It's only for January. And as you can see, things are very, very low or non-existent. That is a normal thing. Our Part 1 crimes, which are these crimes from homicides down to arson, are down. When we ended the year, they were up. And the reason they were up were because of the larcenies. And we're going to take a look at it. And as you can see, we had 1 in January and none last year in January. So it shows 100%. And we want to, these thefts are all preventable. And simple steps that all of us can take will result in fewer crimes and making our neighborhoods, our streets safer, our neighborhoods safer, and the city safer overall. Next, please. So thefts from vehicle, they come in 2 classifications. One is a theft where there's a forced entry, as you can see in the upper picture. And then if you left the window open or the door unlocked, it's someone who's simply reaching in and taking something. With the way things are as far as putting people in jail or prosecuting people for minor offenses, these are crimes that occur quite frequently. And sometimes at night, we will see people riding a bicycle through the neighborhood or slowly driving through the neighborhood, or people walking. And what they're doing is they're walking up to cars, they're checking the doors to see if if the door's unlocked. They may be walking down the street to see if your windows are open. Some cases, people forget to close their trunk or will forget to close their door, or they look down a driveway and they can see that the garage is open and there's bicycles, there are cars that are open, and they'll go in and see what they can take. And they will take everything from change that's in the cups or containers inside the car. They'll open up your storage bins inside your car, the glove box, and take what's ever in there, whether it's sunglasses, and some of us have some very nice sunglasses, and they'll sell them to somebody for $5, $10, whatever they need. They'll gather all the change that's in one of the containers in your car. They will take expensive things. A lot of times students or some of us who are busy will leave our backpacks or briefcases still in the car. And in a lot of cases, those backpacks contain a computer, a laptop, a tablet. And sometimes people will leave their handbags. And there's a lot of handbags that are worth a lot of money. And something called a Birkin, I guess, is very, very expensive. I don't know what it is. I couldn't tell you what it was or is, but all I do know is it's very expensive. And by leaving that, you're luring the bad guys to come back time after time, stay in your neighborhood. So they're taking those kind of things. People will leave their gaming systems, they'll leave their cell phones in the car. Maybe you have a GPS device. Garage door openers are dangerous because they can open up the garage door if you left it in your driveway and see what's inside your garage. Sometimes people leave house keys, and we've had a few times where people have left the fobs for their car. And all that does is just your car suddenly disappears because it's made that much easier. The other things that are being taken are third row seats out of primarily Suburbans, because those are not sold through Chevy or GMC. They're usually aftermarket once they're taken, or they're going to have to be bought secondhand. If you have fancy rims and tires, sometimes truck tailgates, we haven't had those things. And then also occasionally thieves will take a license plate or the tags off your car. But license plates will be put on another car, and so they can commit different types of crimes. Next slide, please. How do we prevent it? Well, a lot of times you've heard me say, lock it, hide it, keep it. And it's that simple. Lock your car. If you have something of value, please put it in the trunk or take it with you. And that way it's not going to disappear. These are all crimes of opportunity. Make sure you roll up your windows and you lock your car doors. Park in a well-lit area, not in the far end of a parking lot or in an area that is not really accessible to people. A year or so ago, we had several thefts occur in the parking lot behind the Thurner House at Lacey Park. Problem with that is it's out of the way. We had the Park and Public Works trim some of the shrubbery that was on the fence line separating the parking lot from the park, so people could see and be seen more than anything else. So you don't want to park in those remote places. You want to park where there's a lot of activity. If you can, park in your garage behind your gate, shut your gate, or in your garage, but to make sure you're out of the way. One of the things is you can keep a registration or your insurance on your phone, so you don't have to keep it in the glove box. So as long as you have that accessible, and if you have an app, especially from your insurance company, that will be very helpful, and you keep it on there. So if you get stopped by the police officer or you become involved in an accident, you have it on your phone and you can show the officer for verification of that information. Because we'll need to know the insurance company and obviously your insurance policy number. Next, please. Recently, we've had 3 thefts of catalytic converters and 1 attempted theft of a catalytic converter. So that's the device down underneath your car near your muffler. And it contains some pretty special metals, platinum, palladium, and rhodium, which when taken to a scrap place, they're able to get some money. As you can see in the slide, it's about $200. It's very simple to do. They get a Sawzall, and they have that catalytic converter off your car within a matter of 1 or 2 minutes. They're gone, and you won't know about the theft unless, of course, you hear the saw, but you won't know about it until you hear some really rough sounding noise coming from underneath your car. It's close to $2,000 or more to get it replaced. And these things are happening everywhere. They've been going on for quite a while because it's an easy way to make some fast money. So we want to dissuade that. On the next slide, you can see a device, and I am not endorsing this device at all, but this is a device where you can surround the catalytic converter and it won't be removed. There's other things you can do, such as simply welding the catalytic converter in place, and some other things that maybe a body shop knows, excuse me, what to do that can protect it. But parking in a lighted area, parking in your garage that's shut, you're not going to have to worry about it. And like I said, we've only had 3 in the city. Arcadia has had a number of these, and so have some other cities nearby. But these are very easy thefts to commit, and they're in and out quick. Thanks. Next slide. One of the other things is we're having lots of thefts, and we're not the only city, but we're having lots of thefts of gardening equipment. We've talked to gardeners. We've given out information to gardeners when they obtain their business license about ways to prevent this. You may see some gardening trucks that are completely enclosed. They may be pulling a trailer that's enclosed. You may see some gardeners with cables and locks, and we've been talking about that with the gardeners to prevent it. A commercial lawnmower is about $1,500, and a backpack blower can be close to $1,000. So you think about your small-time gardener who's trying to service several homes, support his family, and you lose $1,500. Where are you going to come up with it? And how are you going to keep your business? Because, oh, you can't do my yard? Well, I'll find somebody else. And there's always somebody else to do that. So we really don't want them to become victims. And they've been trying to do their best. One of the things that we're asking is for people to, perhaps if you have a larger home with a longer driveway, ask your gardener to park in the driveway and tell them, hey, pull up in the driveway, get off the street, so they can protect your yard. Homes that are a little bit larger or that are not really visible from the street, they can't see the backyard. So if your gardener is working in the backyard, they'll have no idea. Some gardeners are bringing along an extra person to watch the truck, but that costs them money. And so we want to do everything we can to help these folks that are really doing a great job day in and day out of protecting, or rather making our homes look nice. You know, talk to your gardener. We've talked to them. Make sure they have serial numbers for the larger items. They should take pictures and pictures with the serial number. And then if able to, on some of the equipment, they can put their names in some identifying mark. We used to say, put your driver's license on there. But because of identity theft issues, we really don't want you to put specific identifying numbers on valuable items that might be stolen. Same thing goes for you. When you're doing an inventory of all your valuables in your house, take pictures of them. There's some apps that are available on the phone. I know my iPhone, I have one, and you can categorize and classify all of your valuables, take pictures, and keep it securely in case something does happen. Next slide, please. And here is the next thing that's causing us grief, and that's package thefts. Amanda, if you can hit the play button, there you go. And what we're looking at is a home, and you'll notice there's that red car that's parked there. It's blocking the view from the street. Also, where it looks like that pickup truck is parked, there's also a tall shrub or hedge that blocks part of the street. And in just a few moments, you're going to see someone just walk in off the street and walk up to the front porch or the steps there. Right by the door in the bottom, you can see a beige object. And here comes our thief. No hesitancy at all. She's not looking around. She doesn't seem to be very concerned. And then look on the street. You're going to see a car pull up slowly. Well, she's going to go off to the street, and that gray car is going to pick her up. So most of the time, you may see someone walking with another car slowly driving behind them. That's kind of suspicious. If you see that kind of activity, let us know. They could be part of a crew that's stealing packages. Also, you may see a car slowly going behind the UPS driver or the Amazon driver. And what they're doing, as soon as the Amazon driver drops something off, they get out of their car and they grab whatever it's there. You may also have seen empty boxes in the street, abandoned. So they've opened up the box and they've taken what's ever inside, or they just notice, well, I really don't need a set of kitchen towels, so I'm going to leave them in the street and not take them. That's not an item of value. But if you get a new phone, please be aware of that. Also, sometimes some companies send you your new credit cards through UPS or DHL or somewhere else, and they deliver it to your home. Ask them to deliver it to another location. Next slide, please. So a couple things to do. Think about delivering it to a post office box or an office to your home office or your work office, or a neighbor who's home who can receive the package for you, or a mailbox store. For me, I have all of my packages and items of value delivered to a mailbox store. When I moved into my house about 5 years ago, the first time I ordered something online, it was stolen. And that was enough for me to learn, and I have everything and still have things shipped there. One of the other advantages to a mailbox store that gives you, instead of a box number, but it's a suite number, you can have a lot of things, your mail delivered there. You can have mail that has identifying information delivered there. So it reduces the chances of identity theft occurring to you. Make sure you track your packages. Make sure you ask them for a signature on your packages. Otherwise, they won't deliver it. It can be problematic if you're not able to be there when they bring the package, but it's a secure way of keeping what you order. There's also some package drop boxes. Home Depot has them, and where a delivery person can place them in there, they're secure. You secure them to your home. And that's another thing to do, so you don't have to go to a mailbox store or someplace else. One of the things that really works is making sure you take the time to figure out where you're going to have the package dropped. So you may say, well, can you place it in the backyard, drop it from the fence because you know it's not a breakable item, or place it somewhere out of view from the street. These thieves are looking for boxes that are clearly visible. If they have to hunt for it, they're not going to go for it. So ask the delivery person, and you can put those instructions when you order items. Also, use an Amazon locker if you're using Amazon. Also, those lockers are available for other items. We're currently working with Amazon to find a suitable place for a locker here in the city. I know the mailbox store on Chelsea off of Huntington has an Amazon locker, or had one. But that's just different things that you can do to prevent these crimes from happening. Very simple fixes. Next slide, please. So here's a very kind and person who is giving instructions to the delivery man from Amazon. So on their mailbox, you can't really see it too well, but it says, please place the package in the planter. And it has an arrow towards the planter. And then the bottom screen, you can see the planter with another sign pointing toward the planter. If the Amazon driver can read, so can the crook. So, you know, you really don't want to do anything like this. You don't want to be that kind and easy. There's just other things that you can do. And we do see this. I've driven through the city, and I recall a couple months ago, I was going home a little bit late, and it was still dark. And I passed a home here in town that had 5 or 6 packages on the front, by the front door. And inside, I also was able to see the family enjoying their dinner. And so if the crook can see you enjoying your dinner, not paying attention, and they see those 5 packages, those 5 packages are going to go there, are going to disappear. So please take the time, if you're expecting a package, to make sure you don't leave it out there, and take it take it inside and make sure it doesn't disappear. Next slide. So those are the things we wanted to talk about regarding how to avoid these larcenies. These are the biggest crimes that are occurring in town. These are the things that are bringing bad folks in here to commit these simple crimes. We need your help. We need you to take an extra effort to lock your car, remove your valuables, hide it, lock it, keep it, and come up with something different for your packages. Think about giving it to somebody else to pick up, or having it sent to your office, or an Amazon box or mailbox business or something like that. The second part of what we want to talk about tonight is how do we communicate with the community? And if you put that slide up back again, if that's possible. If not, one of the things, we do several things. We use social media. The department has a Facebook page, and so do I. The department has a Twitter page, and so do I. And we use that. We're also looking at an Instagram page so we can communicate information. Not always the best, because a lot of these things are one way. But so the other things we use are Nixle alerts. And hopefully you've all, we've have a large number of the community participating in this program. It's a text-based system through your cell phone, and it's very simple to use. You text the zip code, and then the to message has 888-777. You can also sign up for the city where you work. If you work outside town, you can do it for neighboring areas. And you can get information that way. Well, you put out things of an emergency nature and urgent information, whether it's streets can be closed, whether there's police activity, whether Public Works is fixing a pothole, whether the fire department is dealing with a fire, or we're going to have the homecoming parade, and that the streets and traffic will be having some difficulty for the next hour or so. But we also put out some other information, you know, watch out for this thing happened, this crime happened, a suspicious person has been seen. There's a wind alert, so we want you to be careful with that, or we expect a lot of rain, different information. And we also share this with the other city departments in case they have events or major events or other information broadcasts. And then we use Clear, which is a email based system. And if you go to our webpage under messaging, you can look at a way to sign up for that. And that's another easy one. Nixle is probably the best. And then if you have information on crime, we use Crime Stoppers, lacrimestoppers.org, and the phone number is right there. But the most important thing, if you see something that's suspicious, give us a call. If it doesn't seem right, and you know what seems right for your neighborhood, give us a call. If you see someone that you haven't recognized, a person that's like, I haven't seen that person here before, or they're parked on your street for an extended period of time, let us know. We'll come out and we'll talk to them. We'll be the bad guys. We'll find out what's going on, make sure everything is safe. So please take that time and give us a call. Don't worry about disturbing us in our non-emergency number, 626-300-0720, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's the information I have for you tonight. If you have any other questions, specifically about reducing larcenies or other ideas, and certainly any ideas on the best way to message the community and get information out, we are open to suggestions, and now is the time. Thank you all very much.
Do we have any questions from anyone? If anyone wants to unmute or raise their hand, we can see if anyone has any questions for the chief.
Joanne? Oh, no, I'm sorry.
John Dustin. John, do you see us? There you are.
Hi. Well, if nobody else is going to ask a question, I'm going to ask a question that's maybe a little off topic. It's not necessarily crime prevention, but just sort of something I've always been curious about with public safety institutions. So because of the pandemic, my living situation has changed drastically over the last year. My wife is out of the country, taking care of her mom. My daughter is out of state with a new job opportunity. So I'm, for the first time in a long time, living alone with a house full of pets. And I don't mean to be morbid, but I'm just curious, what happens if I'm out grocery shopping and get hit by a car and I'm incapacitated or killed? What are the capabilities of law enforcement to like find out who I am, where I live, do I have pets, and how can you find somebody that is related to me to maybe intervene on my behalf and take care of my household? And is there anything I can do to facilitate that?
Well, the easier answer, I'll start with that one, is to perhaps have an envelope with a simple message on it in case I'm dead, and have contact information and put it in a very visible place inside your home.
Okay.
The other thing is, if you were to be killed in a car accident or hit by a car, the coroner would attempt to make contact with your survivors. They are responsible for making that connection, and they have different resources. They may call on a police department to check a home to see if there's anyone else at the home, and we may do that. If there's pets in the home, we would call Pasadena Humane, and they would be able to care for your pets, or if there were instructions in the home, who we talk to and contact to help with that. That's pretty a simple thing. It could be that if we don't know who you are and can't identify you, then unfortunately there's some delay, but hopefully there's someone here in town that cares about you, and if they haven't talked to you in a day or two, might call us to check on your home to see if you're inside, maybe you had an accident inside. But that's usually what happens.
All right, thank you. I'll write up a list and put it on the refrigerator door tonight.
Okay.
Hey, John, this is Gene. I have
Gene.
a question.
Hi.
Can you speak to the recent increase in transients near the city? I actually reported one last week. It was a transient that's camped out at the gazebo in front of the high school. And I know there are things San Marino police can do, there's things that police cannot do. And specifically with our street, we have also a large number of vacant homes, specifically one next door that 5 years ago, a transient broke in and, camped there for 3 or 4 days. So it's a concern to me and my neighbors.
Yeah, it's very, very frustrating. There's a couple here in town that we've been dealing with quite a bit. There's a gentleman that rides around on a scooter or a kind of contraption. And we have been, and this is what we do with most of the homeless. Most of them are walking through the neighborhood, and they're not staying here because we don't have services for them. There's no liquor stores. There's no places to buy cigarettes. There's nothing that would keep them here except, like all of you, they're very safe. I can't tell someone not to sleep on the sidewalk. I can't tell someone not to sleep or sit in public property. There's been a couple cases about that. In fact, I read an article about the Boise case. There was a case in Boise, Idaho about people sleeping in public, and then there was another one in another state that within the Ninth Circuit, which is our court, that we dealt with. We belong to a program in Los Angeles County called HOST, and that's where our officers are specially trained, and they have contacts and they have training on how to deal with the homeless and provide places for them to stay, resources that are available. The problem comes when they say no. If they say no, they say no. I can't arrest someone for being a vagrant. We provide, there's one gentleman that we have contacted the mission in Pasadena. We have attempted to place him there several times. We've had staff from that facility come out and talk to him. We have worked with Project Room Key. Perhaps you've read about that in the state of California has that. But he does not want to participate. In fact, he was removed from a facility last week because of his conduct. We have tried to place him in other shelters in other cities. We have just done quite a bit, and that's what we're facing now. And what we try and do is dissuade them the best we can. We try and give them the resources, and we're not really seeing them involved in crime. We are seeing them just trying to find someplace safe and quiet and warm to stay in. There's always mental illness associated with it, but if they don't get to the point where they're unable to care for themselves, their property or others, excuse me, then they don't qualify for the mental health support where we could take them and directly away. So we do make a lot of contact with them. We do know 2 or 3 of them very, very well. We know them by their first name. They know most of my officers by their first name. And but it's just a problem that we're having, just like everybody else, but fortunately not as bad. Hopefully that helps, Gene, if you have any other follow-up.
Yeah, the one I reported, he's the one with the bike and the trailer, and definitely has mental issues. He's every time I bike by him, he's screaming out loud, and I don't know if that translates to violent behavior, but definitely verbally violent, and I don't know if that qualifies him for service available.
Yeah, we have tried working with him. If you didn't know, he's a blogger. He has his own blog. And,
he has a laptop too. So he's got the bike
laptop,
he's got the blog, and he yells at everybody that walks by.
He yells. We've had problems with him at the at Lacey Park. The problem is if a crime occurs, a misdemeanor crime occurs not in our presence, we can't make an arrest, and that's where we need the victim who's had the encounter, the illegal encounter with him, to make a citizen's arrest. Other than that, we just need to advise, we have to keep the peace and encourage them to use whatever services are available. Our hands are kind of tied. It's not like 40 plus years ago when I was a young officer on what we could do. And we really do want to give them help and support, but it's just trying to convince them that this is the right thing and the best thing for them.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Hi, John.
Hello.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, I have a question. Is there any cases increase about the anti-Asia in this community yet? Because, I read a lot of the news and know some of the cities nearby, they have some cases happen in the past few weeks.
A great question. And if you recall, we had an issue a little over a year ago where there were allegations of hate crimes against Asians who attended San Marino High School. We utilized the help of the FBI and the district attorney's office to help us investigate. And we were not able to substantiate any allegations or to prove that there was a hate crime or even a hate incident. For us to make an arrest on a hate crime, there has to be a crime that occurred, let's say something as simple as a battery where someone maybe have been pushed, or maybe there was a threat. And then it was directly associated with someone's race, gender, and there's several other sections or several other different classifications for it. We weren't able to identify that. We were not able to get the cooperation of any victims. Without a victim, I can't make an arrest. And so unfortunately, the crimes continue. We had a incident where one of our residents was told by another resident to go back where they came from. Without an associated crime, there's no way to make an arrest. We have not seen any increases. However, we are constantly talking to different organizations. We are working on ways to handle or work on that issue so we don't have any more problems such as the ones I've described. And we're looking for help. If you want to get involved and help us, give us ideas on what we can do, how we can bring the community together, and how we can take care of each other, protect each other, and ensure this is another beautiful city to live in. I'm open to suggestions, and I'm open to your help. I've talked to about 6 of my officers, all who are Asian, and we're starting to ask some questions. And then we have some other officers that are involved in our community engagement unit that we're trying to figure out some things. We'll bring in people I know and some others know, but if you wanted to participate, you had some ideas, please give me a call. I'd appreciate hearing from you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Well, no other questions. Well, thank you all very much. You can always get a hold of me through email. It's on the website, or jincontro@smpd.us. And my work number is 626-300-0720. And look forward to talking to you and seeing you in town at whatever event comes up. Hopefully there's some soon. Thank you all very much. Have a great evening.
Thank you.